I'll get started. The Human Rights Party has called this press conference to bring to the attention of the authorities concerned and to the public at large the dissatisfaction of the Indian community in the way the young of the community are being systematically denied opportunities for JPA scholarships, for entrance into public universities, and to the preferred pre-university matriculation program. Prime Minister Najib keeps repeating that we are one Malaysia. We sing songs in schools, I'm sure, about one Malaysia. The children will know. And that we need to move out from the middle income status to high income status. That the basis for affirmative action should be need-based and not race-based. And to increase the income of the bottom 40% of the population, and so on in his master plan to take Malaysia on forward. Now, Prime Minister Najib needs to explain the dichotomy between his intentions and what is now happening on the ground. He needs to explain how we have these top performing Indian students being denied opportunities for JPA scholarships to do courses of their choice, entrances to local universities, and admission to the matriculation pre-university programs. Because he is the one who initiated the One Malaysia program, and if the One Malaysia program is to mean anything, then it has to mean something in these areas. So he has some explanation to do. It is the firm opinion of the Human Rights Party that these top Indian students are being denied the entitlement for the only reason that they are of the Indian community, a minority community in this country. Anyone who truly understands the processes of creating unity in any population knows that a unified population can only happen when there is fairness, when fairness is felt in all affairs of life. Fairness, equality, and equal opportunities are fundamental building blocks for building one nation. Besides, this is a fundamental right of citizens of any nation, the right to equality in all affairs of life. And that fairness must be felt in concrete terms, such as in this case, in the selection of truly meritorious students for targeted higher education. When top performing students see their lesser performing peers getting scholarships, gaining admissions to the public universities and admissions to the preferred pre-university matriculation programs, all semblance of fairness goes out the window in one moment. And with that, any hope of a One Malaysia. So how can the unity envisioned in the One Malaysia concept ever be attained? Dato Sri Najib, just what do you mean by One Malaysia? PM Najib talks about building a high-income society. A high-income society can only be built with a high-performing citizenry. And that high performance can only come about in the citizenry by role models, by generally high expectations in society, in a reward system that is based on performance, by fairness in the system in rewarding high performers, and by policies which truly nurture high performers. It can never occur in a racially slanted system, where criteria such as race, as the race you are from, or the color of your skin, or the religion you belong to, seem to be primary criterion. It can never occur in a system where the scales are permanently slanted like this. So we ask Dato Sri Najib, do you really understand the dichotomy between your intentions and these actions? Prime Minister Najib wants to institute needs-based affirmative action against race-based affirmative action. Today, the Indians in West Malaysia are the most backward community among the three major communities. Any awards to the Indian community will be clearly justified on this basis. But the present selection of SPM students in no way reflects this policy. PM Najib wants to increase the incomes of the bottom 40% of the population. Many of the Indian students who have been denied these opportunities are from the bottom 40%. Dato Sri Najib, just what do you mean by all of this? Year after year, the same process repeats. Grossly biased selection of SPM students are made, and unfairly treated students and their parents vent their anger and frustration, and then MCA and MIC put on an act of intervention, and a few more students are added to the list, and then it happens again the next year, and so on. MCA and MIC attempt to be relevant with this wayang kulit. UMNO keeps the system as is, and a lot of hot air is spent in the process of press conferences such as these. Why this hubris? Why do we not truly rise to the challenges of building a great Malaysia? Hubris gets us nowhere. We require a permanent and robust solution to this otherwise chronic problem of our society. Apart from all this, Malaysia seems to be one of the very few remaining countries in the world that has an official discriminatory policy against its own minorities. Time has come for all these anachronistic policies to be abandoned and for us all to move on. HRP, the Human Rights Party, demands that the entire process of selection be revamped to reflect fairness that is sorely needed in affairs of Malaysian life. The Human Rights Party demands that this entire process be made transparent, which includes the criteria for selection, the results of the selection, the names of all those who applied, what they each scored according to the selection criteria, who were selected for the various programs, and such relevant information. This can then be posted in the Ministry of Education's website. Unless the Prime Minister, Najib, and the UMNO-led government picks up courage to do this and to make all such processes of the government transparent, the inevitable conclusion of the affected rakyat will be that Najib and UMNO just want to continue this ethnocentric system, just want to engage in rhetoric of one Malaysia and just want to get the votes. They do not really want to change the system to address the sorry state of our nation. The Human Rights Party will continue to highlight this problem till we see a permanent solution to it. We have arranged the following events and actions to highlight this issue for the current batch. I hope we don't have to do this every year, but for the current batch, this is what we have arranged. There is a petition campaign online at the Human Rights Party website, www.humanrightspartymalaysia.com. All are requested to download the form and get concerned people to sign in and then to fax it to the Human Rights Party headquarters at the given fax number. Second item, on the 6th of June, all affected students are invited to attend a gathering at the Human Rights Party headquarters at 10 a.m. The address is 6 Jalan Abdullah off Jalan Bangsa, KL. Contact person, Mr. Samulingam. Telephone 010-2774-096. On the 11th of June, affected students in the north part of our country are invited to a gathering at the Sri Subramaniam Devasthan Temple Hall, Sungai Petani, Kedah at 7 p.m. Key contact persons are Mr. Andy 012-429-2817, Mr. Ramu 012-444-2755, Mr. Siva 013-440-4006. And the fourth event is if the government does not satisfactorily address this situation, as they have said, by the 11th of June, they have postponed their decision from the 4th of June to the 11th of June. We hope for a better outcome, but if they do not satisfactorily address this situation, then a gathering is planned to show our continuing dissatisfaction at the Parliament building on the 15th of June at 11 a.m. Contact person is Mr. Sambulingam, telephone 010-2774-096. You can also get more information on all this at our website. So that is the prepared part of my statement. Later on, when I answer questions, I will say a few words. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do is invite each of the children to just say a few words about themselves and about how they feel about what's happening.